All right, we're going to try something new, at least for a little while. I don't know how long this will last, but if it goes well, then it could last for a long time. But I've been doing my videos where I speak on some kind of subject at the beginning and then I pack orders in the second half. And I've been enjoying doing it that way. I like having some kind of record of every sale that I make. Anything that doesn't make it to the video, I usually post about it in the community post section here on YouTube. But it's nice to be able to see every single sale as it gets out the door. But a lot of the videos people watch the first half and then the retention takes a nosedive for the second half of the video while I'm packing. So I know there are people that want to see the packing, and I enjoy filming that stuff. So I'm going to continue to do it. But for the time being, we'll see how this goes. I'm going to be doing my normal videos. I think I'm going to do four videos a week, maybe five. And I would do, I've got all my different series that I'm talking about. My Honest Truth series, that's where I give all the breakdown of all my numbers and my feelings about how my shop is doing. I have the eBay Lab videos where I'm experimenting with the myths and legends and theories about how to make your eBay shop successful. I also have a series called Seller School where I'm just doing like quick little segments about little tips and tricks that you can use to make your business run a little bit smoother. And then I also have shopping videos where I'm going out and sourcing from my eBay store. So those videos are all going to stay for sure, but I'm going to cut them off where I normally would go into packing, and we'll just do the first half and see how viewership goes on those. And then I'm going to film packing every day of the week and then save those and then post them all at once in one big sort of mega packing video. 5 days of packing all in one big clump. Would you call it a clump of packing? I guess that's what I'm going to call it. So tonight I'm going to go in there and pack Monday's orders, and then we'll save this footage until next Sunday and get that pieced together with all of the rest of the days of the week, and then put out one big video. So if you like this kind of video, please stick around for future installments. Leave a comment if this is going to work out for you. I have no idea how long this video will be. Today I only have like 4 items to pack for Monday, but the more sales I have, the longer the video is going to be. So ideally for me, I want this video to be like 5 hours long, because that means I'm making the most amount of sales and the most amount of profits that I can with my eBay business. But if we just have a handful of sales each day, this video could be 10 or 15 or 20 minutes long. I have no idea. For now, I'm going to stop wasting time, because this might end up being a 2-hour video. So we don't want to have too much of a preamble. So let's just cut this. I'm going to pull all of the orders that came in today. Like I said, there's 4 of them, and then we'll get those packed and then see what happens for the rest of the week. So let's go. Okay, my battery looks a little low right now, so we're going to get right into this and get this stuff done as quickly as we can. And luckily, some of this stuff is sort of pre-packed already, so we don't have too much work to do. In this box right here, there's a bunch of these kind of community cookbooks. Like, you usually see these with the binders, like a church group would put something like this together, or a school. In this case, it says Lycoming County Medical Society Auxiliaries Favorite Recipes. This one says, From Our Kitchens, Focusing on World Missions by the Free Church Women's Ministries. Do you want to see another one? Creative Cooking by the Northwest Cooks Medical Association. So you can find these things for almost nothing at estate sales. They sell them, maybe you get 5 for $1, maybe they're $1 a piece. They're not very expensive. And some of them can be pretty valuable if you land on the right topic. These, unfortunately, were not the right ones. I've had these all listed for quite a while. Individually, I was trying to sell them one at a time for $15 or $10 or $12. I'm making a lot of noise with this paper. Anyway, none of them sold, so after they were listed for 2 years or something, I took them all down, just put them all together in one big lot, and we sold 15 of these together for only $25. But it's better to get them sold for any amount than to just have them sitting around and wasting space on my shelves and then not having anybody be able to enjoy them. So I put them in this box. I unsealed it so that I could show you a couple of them. But they're kind of fun, you know. They're like, even though they're not that valuable, they're fun to look at. Sometimes they have jokes in them, like, you know, these older ones when gender was a little bit more old-fashioned, there might be like a section where it's like the men's recipes, and it'll be like open a can of beer and heat up a hot dog or whatever. So those kind of things are in some of these kind of books too. But let's see. This weighs over 10 pounds, close to 11 pounds. This box is 12 by 12 by what? 7. 12 by 12 by 7. And it's going to EJV in New York. I'm afraid I'm going to have to run and get another battery for the camera. There's one upstairs in the... I have some spare batteries that's in the car though, so I don't really want to go out there and get it. Next up, this is L General Western shirt, men's. This is like a 2XL shirt. Snap buttons. Not the most valuable shirt in the world, but I did get $22 for it. I paid $6 for it, so that's not my favorite kind of return on investment, but it's okay. I did go back and forth with a shopper today on, he sent an offer and then I sent a counter offer. And went probably 3 times we went back and forth and we ended at $22. I'm pretty sure I had it listed at $28. So it's not that much of a difference, but a little bit less than I wanted to get, but I'd rather have this sold than wait around and try to get another $6 out of it. So I'm gonna write on here, general shirt. 13 ounces. This is gonna be 14 by 12, 14 by 9 by 2, I'll call it. And it's going to CF in Alabama. All right, next. I sold another set of these magnets. So this microphone, lapel mic, is held on by a magnet. I lost my magnet. It fell off and I could not find it. And so I sourced some similar sized magnets. These are neodymium magnets. And it's pretty much exactly the size that I need to hold this microphone on. Unfortunately, I had to buy this in a 100-pack. You can't just buy 2 or 3 of these. So I figured I can break these up, sell them to people who are looking for replacements for their microphone magnet, and probably end up getting mine for free or even making a little bit of profit on that. So I'm putting it just in the bubble mailer, and I cut this mailer open the other day. So I'm taping it closed again. And this sold for $7. Again, this was another offer situation. I've been selling them for $7.99. They offered me $6 and then we met in the middle at $7. So this is going to VM, South Carolina. We won't make much profit on this. It's going to cost $4 to ship it. So it's going to be, we're going to make like $5 or $6 on that. And then if you stick around to the end, I'll tell you exactly how much profit each of these items earned and how much we made for the whole day. So we'll go through all that and then switch to Tuesday's packing session. So this next item should fit in here, I think, is a vintage VHS video cassette rewinder. So I think that there are some models and brands of these rewinders that do very, very well. This is probably not one of them. I've got this for $4 in November of 2024. And I had it listed all that time, a year and a half or more, whatever that adds up to. And I had it at $19.99. Somebody sent me an $18 offer today. I considered countering like I have been with the middle amount, but I figured this has been listed long enough. It's better to just get rid of it than to try to finagle an extra $1 out of this deal. So if I met him in the middle, I would have just made $1 more on it. Didn't seem like it was worth it, so I just accepted the offer and now we're packing it up and shipping it out. I have sold some of these for $40, $45, but this one, even though it's still in the box, I don't know if it's never been used, but it's possible. For whatever reason, it's not worth the $40 some of the other ones are. Okay, I'm gonna get this one ready to go, and I'm going to buy all those labels, and then we'll be right back to go over the profit numbers. Okay, these 4 packages are ready to go. They got labels and everything, so let's just quickly go over the profits for today. All right, community cookbooks. A lot of 13 community cookbooks. Once I added them all together, I spent $6.64 on these cookbooks, so approximately 50 cents a piece. I sold them for $25. Shipping fee. This is not right. This is not right. Let me fix this. Okay, I had some typos in my spreadsheet, but now I have it fixed. So let's start over. I spent $6.64 on these books. I sold them for $25. I charged $9.97 shipping on this, but it was way heavier than I expected it to be. So the actual shipping was $2 more, $11.97. eBay fees were $5.60. So on these 13 books, we made $10.76 profit, and it took what, three years to get there. So not a great sale, but at least these things have moved. We do make a little bit of money on them, and we got more room on the shelves for more inventory. The next thing up is the El General Western shirt. I'm not going to go over all of the steps. I'm just going to get straight to the profit on the rest of these. So after all those fees, cost of goods and everything, we earned $17.79 on that Western shirt. The replacement magnets, a little bit better than I thought. We made $6.65 on that. I thought by taking that offer, we were only going to make about $5, but $6.65. It's not a great sale, but like I said, I had to buy these things, and now I'm just recouping some of that money. And then finally, the VHS tape rewinder, $12.27 profit. So this has been another one of these days with just low sale profits. You know, that I need to be selling some of these expensive items that I have in my shop and not just these $10 and $12 and $15 things. But anyway, $47.47 profits for today. So that's it. We're gonna go put these out on the porch, and my carrier will pick them up tomorrow. I've already requested a porch pickup from the USPS. So these will go out tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow night, hopefully we'll have more sales. And so we'll see you right after this. All right, we're back. It's Tuesday night, about 8 o'clock, and we have 5 orders to pack tonight. So let's just get right to it. First thing on my list is this leather jacket. It's a brand called Manzor, M-A-N-Z-O-O-R, genuine leather, size 50. I don't remember. I feel like I did some research on this and I knew where it was made or something, but I can't recall the details. Anyway, I got this from my lunch break thrift store that I go to most days of the week. It was, I think it was, let's get it open and see the details. I bought it on a half off day. So they had it for $50. I was keeping my eye on it for a little while, and then waiting for the half off day, which came based on the sticker color or whatever. And so I got it for $25. It didn't sell for that much, but I did get an offer on it today or yesterday or today. I can't remember. And it was one of my meet me in the middle deals. They sent me an offer. I sent a counter offer exactly halfway between what I was asking for and what they were asking for, and they accepted that offer. So I sold this for $54.50. It's pretty crunchy, and I'd like to be able to fold it and get it inside of a box, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to or not. It needs to be conditioned for sure, but I do have a box here that I want to get it in. I'm not going to have much of a choice. I'm going to have to fold it up somehow. All right, let's turn this over and try to keep that folded. This box is 12 by 12 by, what is this? I think it's 12 by 13 by 8.5. So I should be able to fit this coat in here, I think, hopefully, but it's going to be kind of tight. I don't know. Maybe I have another box here. Maybe this box will be better. This one is a little different size, and I think this is going to be better. So I want to put the coat in a plastic bag. Make sure my microphone is on. Okay, sorry if that was bad quality, but microphone's on now, we should be okay. All right, I'm gonna try to fit this coat in this bag and then fit the whole thing in this box. That's my plan for now, but I mean, it's gonna be tough because this coat is really stiff. I think it's probably vintage real leather coat. Who knows? I've purchased quite a few leather coats in my time, and they don't all sell super great. This one I've had since April of 2025, so it's late February now, 2026. So not quite a year on this, but close to it. I guess that's fine. It fits in here. This is an old Amazon box. Can't imagine what came in this box. Pretty large. We don't usually order that kind of stuff, that big of stuff from Amazon, but I could have picked this up from work, or maybe somebody else brought it home from work. No, it's got our address on it. I'm gonna put tape here on the bottom, cover up this paper tape, the Amazon tape, and then here's a barcode I want to cover. This is the old label. I want to cover that. I don't usually like to put labels on the sides of boxes. I like them on the top where the flaps are, but more and more I see in these side labels, so I don't know. There might be a real good reason to put it on the side I don't know about. And I guess if this was stacked up in a delivery truck and you could only see the sides of the boxes, if they were all stacked on top of each other, having it on the side might be a better choice. But for me, I'm gonna leave it on the top right here. I think this is the bottom. I think this is the top. Okay, $54.50 on that. So at the end of this section, we'll look at actual profits on all these things. This is going to RC. I'm gonna write this stuff on here first. In Michigan, so it's not going far, but I gotta get a weight. Just 6 pounds. Coat, 6 pounds. And this one is 16 by 11, 16 by 13 by 11. Okay, let me push that out of the way and then we'll move on to the next item, which is a book right here. Leslie Meyer, Easter Egg Murder, paperback mystery. I have a box for it right here. This sold, I got this for free, sold for $20.69 plus shipping. So we'll get probably get a little boost on the shipping. I think the shipping will probably be $4.50-ish, and they probably paid $5.25 or something like that. So we'll get a little bit of an extra amount of money from the shipping cost, the shipping charge. Okay, good. Easter Egg Murder. This is one of those cozy mysteries. They do them usually on a theme. So this author probably writes all mysteries about holidays, or all mysteries about Easter even, or maybe about eggs for all I know. I'm gonna write Easter on here. It's gonna go here for 1 pound exactly. So that's good. 10 by 7 by 3. We're shipping it to SB in Texas. Next, here is a tiny little ET sculpt, what do you call it? Plush ET. I thought this was vintage because of the quality of it, but it's made in, saw a date on it somewhere. Is it in the title? No, I think it was like 1999 when I thought it was probably 1984 when the movie came out. 2021, even newer than I thought. Anyway, I did some, what was I doing? I was doing some inventory, and I made a video where I was going through the box that this was in, and someone in the comments left a note saying, I think I'd like to buy that ET, and this was quite a few weeks ago. I would say maybe even 6 weeks ago, and then she finally bought it. So this is going out to Linda, a viewer, and I will include these 2 lapel pins as a thank you gift. So if you ever see something in my shop that you want to buy, leave a note telling me that you probably can't see, these are so small. Leave a note telling me that you're a viewer, and I will send you some lapel pins. I made those myself. One of them has the shop logo, and then one of them has a portrait of my dog, Pineapple. So I feel like I might have sent a set of those to Linda before, but I can't remember for sure, so I'm gonna send her another pair. But anyway, thank you, Linda. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching and for the purchase. Whoops. Okay, EAT, very light. 8 ounces. What is this? 10 by 7 by 3, and we're going to LF in Texas. That's 2 Texases tonight. All right, right here, I'm not gonna take this out of the bag because it's pretty tight to fit it in there, but this is a Cool, K-U-H-L, a fleece jacket. I knew this was going to be a pretty decent sale. I just got this a couple of weeks ago at the beginning of February at my lunch break thrift store. I got two of these, two cool items, and this is a brand to look out for. It sells quickly and for a decent amount of money. So I paid $3 a piece for these two coats. They're like, you know, light. The other one's more like this one's like a jacket. The other one I think might be like a quarter zip. But anyway, paid $3 a piece for them. This one sold for $49.50, and it was another one of these halfway meet me in the middle deals. Whatever I had it listed for and whatever they offered me, I did a counter offer right in the middle, and they accepted that offer, and this jacket is on the way out tonight for $49.50. Pretty good. Oh, what's going on here? This box feels weird, but it's fine. I think I might have just another sale come in. Something happened. No, no sale. I thought it was going to be an extra sale tonight. I was hoping. 1 pound, 12 ounces. I'm gonna write 2 pounds, KUHL, 13 by 11 by 3. This is on the way to MN in Massachusetts, MN to MA. And then the last sale so far tonight, it is pretty early, really. It's 8:30, so for me, that's a pretty early packing session. Last night, I didn't get to bed. I didn't get finished with the eBay stuff until after 1 in the morning. But anyway, this sale came in. I didn't even notice it until I started getting all this stuff ready to pack. But this is a KitchenAid rotor slicer shredder. So it's got all these different attachments to do either shredding or slicing or whatever. It's gonna need some bubble wrap in here. It's in this box, which I guess is probably the original box, and the previous owner wrote on here slicer shredder on both sides, and it's got the paperwork it came with. Pretty nice, but not all of this KitchenAid stuff is really that valuable. This one sold for $37. I paid $12.50 for it, so not an incredible profit on this. It's gonna definitely need some bubble wrap inside this box, and then I don't really have this box is just slightly too big for to fit inside the boxes that I have. So I'm gonna do my best to fit it in a different box, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's get some more bubble wrap. I'm gonna wrap up all of these pieces individually. There's a little shaft here. I guess these things probably ride on. I don't really know exactly. Oh yeah, like this. So let me put that in here. And then this thing's probably never been used. It has all this paper in between them. That I suspect this is the original wax paper that was packed with these tools. But is it gonna fit? I guess so. I'm gonna put paper in here to fill the rest of this space. And then this box will go in another box. We'll see if we can fit it. Okay. This one is closed. Good enough. Is it? No, it's not. Pop it back open again. Okay, get in here. Get in here. All right. Okay, it will fit in here. This is the box I was going to use to get that leather coat in, but it didn't fit. So now we're going to put a KitchenAid attachment. Pretty sure this came from my lunch break thrift store too. Yeah, sure did. And this I bought in March of last year. So again, almost a year to sell. This is kind of a big item to be hanging on to for over a year or close to a year. But I have plenty of room for storing stuff, so I'm not that concerned if things don't sell right away. Although, obviously, the faster it sells, the better. Okay, good. All right, I'm gonna finish this one up and get the labels printed for all these. I'll come back and tell you exactly how much money we made on each of these items and then our total profit for the day, Tuesday. So we'll be right back. All right, I got all 5 of these boxes packed up, got labels. They're all gonna go out on the porch tomorrow for my carrier. She'll take them and they'll get delivered as soon as possible. So let's just quickly go over these profits. All right, the first thing up, the Manzor leather jacket. This is a men's jacket, size 50, black vintage biker motorcycle punk. These are the words I put in the title. And this sold for I paid $25 for it. I sold it for $54.50. Shipping fee, I charged $7.76, but the actual shipping was over $10, $10.33. So we're losing money on the shipping there. eBay fee, $7.89. Total profit on this jacket, only $19.04. It's a little bit disappointing. Start at $54 and get down to less than 20, but that's how it goes sometimes. The Easter Egg Murder by Leslie Meyer. This is a paperback book, $20.69. I sold it for, after fees and labels and everything. $17.20 profit on that book. Next up is a little ET, the extraterrestrial. This is going out to Linda in Texas. So thanks again, Linda. I paid 50 cents for this at a garage sale. I sold it for only $5.39. So after shipping costs and fees and everything, we're doing okay here. $5.25 on that little guy, a little bit of a profit there. And then the cool jacket, KUHL, I guess that's how you pronounce it. Interceptor fleece jacket, men's extra large, $39.82 profit on that. And then finally, the KitchenAid rotor slicer shredder stand mixer attachment, $18.70 profit. So we're looking at a total profit today of $100.01. So I haven't seen a number like that. That's kind of strange, but $100.01 profit. I'm gonna be needing, like, I've been shooting for $160 a day at least for my goal. After this month, where it seems like the average price is gonna end up being quite a bit lower than that, we're probably gonna have to revise the target, the daily target for the rest of the year. It's not like I can do anything to make this stuff sell for more money, but right now we have $110.93 average profit for the month of. This is average daily profit for the month of February. All right, that's it for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow to see what is getting shipped out then. And until then, let's just keep our fingers crossed for more sales. All right, welcome back. Now it is Wednesday and it's kind of late, 10:15. I've been dragging my feet tonight coming down here because I only have 3 orders that need to get packed. And I was hoping for a couple more sales before I needed to get down here and get this work done. A couple of these are, decent price, okay profit, and then one really, really bad profit. So let's just get these packed up and get on with it. So I have a G.I. Joe figure here. I had him listed for only $6.99, and somebody was sending me offers today, and I've been doing that meet me in the middle offer trick, and it's been working okay, but for a $6 item, I probably shouldn't even have had offers turned on for that, but I did, so it's my own fault. But this guy sent me a $3 offer, and I just wasn't in the mood for it today, so I just rejected that offer immediately. Then he sent a $4 offer, I rejected that. He sent a $5 offer, I rejected that. I just didn't want to deal with offers today. Then finally he sent a $6 offer, and I thought, this stupid G.I. Joe figure has been sitting in my inventory for close to 3 years. Exactly 3 years. What's today? It's more than 3 years. It's been sitting here since February 11th of 2023 when I first listed it. And I've been thinking about just ending all of these G.I. Joe figure listings. I don't have that many left, and the ones that I have left are not really worth anything. So I was thinking I was just going to end them, lock them all up, and sell them in one bunch for $10 or $20 or something. So I took the $6 offer because it's better to get $6 than less than $6. So I took the $6. It's only 99 cents away from my asking price. Still, I don't know why you would mess around. Like, if something is $6.99 and you want it and you're willing to pay $6 for it, you're not willing to pay an extra 99 cents? That seems crazy to me. Just buy it outright and be done with it. This is Joe. Let me move this computer out of the way. I need to get to my scale. This is going to be very light. I should make this box even lighter to make this as cheap as possible. It's only 5 ounces. 6 by 5 by 5. We're going to ship it to CR in New York. So some guy in New York couldn't afford 99 cents. Okay, next. Here's some magazines. This is American Bungalow magazine. I have a whole stack of these. I'm not sure how many. 13 issues. So I don't know how many years that would be, if that's 1 year, if this came out. These are from 2021. Well, 2021, 1997, they're all over the place. 99, mostly from 99 and 2000. But there's a few other years mixed up in here, but it doesn't look like it's like a consecutive number thing here. But these I got from a guy. There's a guy who was selling stuff on Craigslist. And I talked about this before in older videos, where he sold me a Smashing Pumpkins poster from like 1992 or something like that, like before they were, you know, before they had bald heads and millions of dollars. And this would have been a hand screen printed poster from that time period from a concert. And he sold it to me, I can't remember, $25, something like that. Maybe less, maybe 20. And I drove over to his house and picked it up, and he was showing me some other stuff, and we got to be talking a little bit. And he's a guy who's like basically the exact same age as me and had a lot of the same interests as me. And so like we didn't become friends. Like I don't know his name right now. And I thought we might become friends, but it just didn't work out that way. Because you know, I play drums and he was talking about how he was playing with it. He plays guitar, and another guy playing bass, and they were kind of looking for a drummer. And I was kind of thinking, maybe I'm going to be in a band with this guy, and we're going to be buddies. But that didn't happen. But anyway, about a year after that, I was on Craigslist again. I found some other stuff I wanted. I think it was model rocket catalogs, and I looked. I contacted the guy, and I saw that I had already had his number in my phone. I had called him before, so I figured out it was the same guy. So we reached out. I reached out to him, and I got these model rocket catalogs, and then he was telling me, like, I have all this other stuff. I've got posters, like, you know, concert posters and stuff, and I want to sell it, but I'm old school and I want to do it on Craigslist. And I was trying to tell him, like, you know, Craigslist is essentially dead now for this kind of thing. If you want to sell that, you're going to have to put it on either on eBay or on Facebook Marketplace. He didn't want to have anything to do with Facebook, so I understand that. But he seemed interested in eBay, and then I was like, you know, what's the ethical thing to do here? Like, I kind of want to keep him as a source of stuff. If he wants to sell me stuff, I want to buy it. But I also want to be friends, you know, I want to be a nice guy. And so I offered to give him a little eBay crash course. And so we did that, and I showed him, like, you got to do this, you got to pack it, you got to be able to pack, you got to be able to ship. And he was like, oh, I don't really want to do any of that stuff. But I don't know if he did or not. I ended up going back to his house one more time and buying a big stack of stuff. And as I was leaving, there was a stack of these American Bungalow magazines right by the door, like somebody had just been perusing them on a shelf by the exit. And he said, you wouldn't be interested in those, would you? And I was like, yeah, I probably would be. So I paid $10 for these 13 magazines. That's what he asked for. And I think I had them listed about 90 or something like that. Somebody sent an offer today. Again, I was not in the mood to be doing the counter offer stuff, so I just accepted that offer. It was $78. So I paid 10 for them, sold them for 78. I prefer to get 90, but I'll take 78. They have been listed for a little while. This is going to North Carolina. These have been listed since not that long. I mean, yeah, this is more than a year, so I'm happy to finally get $78 for those. I knew that was a sort of a long tail item. You know, uniquely specific magazines. You know, those things usually sell for decent amounts of money, but if, let's say, you know, in this case, it's it's not just an architecture magazine, it's specifically about bungalows, which is really, like, these types of bungalows this magazine is about is really like just a Chicago thing. So I'm surprised this is going to North Carolina and not to somebody here in Chicago. But in any event, $78, they're on the way out. Look for unique magazines like that. They can do pretty well, but just don't get excited that they're going to sell quickly. All right, the next thing here is called a Double Duck Model 880 Camabie hot comb. So it's like a hairdryer with a comb attached to it. It's in this pretty cool case. This is real vintage stuff. It's got 3 extra combs to attach to it, 2 plastic ones and a metal one. I don't really understand it, but I bought this for $3.26 at the Salvation Army and sold it for $35 today plus shipping. So I'm going to put it in this box, and then we're going to be done for the night. In fact, I'm just going to cut now. I'm going to get this packed up, and then I'll come back after I bought the shipping labels, and I'll tell you about the profits on these things. Okay, G.I. Joe sold for $6. I charged $7.87 shipping, so maybe that's why he was trying to get it for a cheaper price, because that shipping is a little bit high. The actual shipping cost was $5.45, so we got a little bit of extra profit there. eBay fees, $2.13. And so we ended up with a profit of $6.29, and it only took 3.5 years to get there. American Bungalow magazine ended up with a profit of $53.63. This is one where the shipping costs more than what I charged, so we could make a little bit on Joe and then lose a little bit on Bungalow. Next up, Double Duck Model 880 Hot Comb, $26.70. Not bad. That one was listed pretty recently. No, that's not right. This says 12/17/24, but I'm pretty sure that's 25. I know that was from 2025. Okay, so that one sold in just a couple of months and earned $26.70. So total profit for today, less than $100. Again, like this month has been pretty slow for me. $86.62 profit. Average profit for the month of February right now, it's the 25th, it's Wednesday, $109.96. I need that number to be 160, between 160 and 200, and that's just to reach the goal. Like, obviously I want it to be more than that, but that average profit per day has to be at least 160 every day for the rest of the year. And now that we've had kind of a dismal month, it's probably going to be even higher. And that's, I mean, I'm just making up a goal for the year of $57,000, but I'm probably not going to get there. Already things are not going the way I expected them to, but we'll be back tomorrow. That's it for Wednesday. Tomorrow I'll be packing up again. So, yeah. All right, we're back again. Tonight is Thursday, so we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday down, and now Thursday. It's been pretty slow this week, but we finally did have a few sales. So I've got 8 packages that are going out today, which is, definitely better than it's been the last couple of days. So let's just get right to it and get these packages shipped out and ready to go. So first thing I have is called Science and Health with Key to the Scripture by Mary Baker Eddy. It's an old book. I don't really understand the connection, science and health, to the scripture. I have 2 copies of this book. I've got another one somewhere, unless I sold that other one already, but I think I have 2 of these. This is going to go in a small box here. Let's get it together. This came from Unique. I typically look for Bibles and other religious books at Unique. It's strange that the one like most secular thrift store, the one that is like fully a for-profit business, no religious affiliations, they don't even try to pretend like it's a charity, is the one store where I typically find Bibles. And Bibles, I've talked about it before. They're not always great, but typically they do sell. Even kind of junky ones sell for $10 or $12 or something like that, and they usually sell pretty quickly. So I mostly just buy Bibles without even researching them if they're cheap enough. This is not a Bible exactly. I really don't know exactly what it is. Science and Health with Key to the Scripture. Anyway, I bought it for $1 and sold it for $11.99. So Science, $13, 13 ounces. This box 10 by 7 by 3, and it's going to MH in Washington State. So there's 1 down. We've got 8 to go, or 7 more to go. Let's do them quickly. I'm gonna skip forward. I might need another one of these. No, this box is gonna be fine. Okay, right here I have some 8-track tapes. These are 2 Rolling Stones tapes, Let It Bleed and Goat's Head Soup. So 2, they're stretch wrapped together. I don't remember. I think I got an 8-track cassette carrying case that had a bunch of this kind of classic rock type stuff. I guess Rolling Stones is classic rock. And the tapes in there weren't worth that much, but the case was kind of okay. So I sold the whole case. I sold that case almost immediately, and then the tapes are just sitting. They're 8-tracks. My understanding is the ones that are valuable are the ones that were made at the very end of the 8-track era. They would have been made in minimal quantities. And I believe the real good ones were made by Columbia House. The what would you call it? The tape, Columbia House Tapes and Records Club. where you pay 15 cents and they send you 1,000 records, and then you have to buy a record a year for the rest of your life or something like that. My understanding is that Columbia House continued to have 8-tracks produced when nobody else was even selling them because they knew their clientele. And some of those 8-tracks from Columbia House can be valuable because they were made in like super, super limited quantity. I said it twice. That's my understanding anyway. This is exactly the same weight as that science book or that religious book, whatever it is. Rolling Stones. This is going to WM. There's a string of numbers and letters after the buyer's name, which usually indicates a freight forwarder, but I've never seen a freight forwarder in Virginia. This is going to Virginia, so I wrote WMVA on there. Maybe it is a freight forwarder. There could be a freight forwarding company I don't know about in Virginia, but I don't know. Usually they're Florida, Oregon, Washington State. I guess sometimes Texas will go to South America. Those freight forwarding companies, I don't know how that really works from the buyer's end, but usually somebody in another country and they don't want to pay eBay international shipping fees, and so they go through these freight forwarding companies. They buy something, you send it to a domestic address, and then that company probably packs up a shipping container or something and then ships them off to wherever, there's a lot of stuff in China, a lot of stuff in Spain. I think I sent a lot of things to Spain and South America. Anyway, doesn't matter. That's sold. The next thing up, Sunday Crossword Puzzle Omnibus. I just relisted this last night and it sold already. There's another one coming up from that same shelf. So this is why it's a good idea to do inventory and relist items. So this book hasn't been around that long. I've had this since November of last year. So like 3 months. It's a crossword puzzle book, sold it for $25. I got this for free, so $25 is a good return on free. And then the other book that I have coming up has been sitting around for way, way longer, and I relisted that last night. I lowered the price by like $2, and it's sold in just one day. So good. It's good to keep stuff moving. So if you're not doing inventory and looking at your oldest listings and trying to relist them, to rethink the price or whatever, probably a good time to start doing that. If you're like me, you had stuff for 3 years, got to let that stuff move. So this book, only a few months old. It's not a few years, but I cleared everything off that shelf in order to do an inventory audit. And then just ended everything there and relisted it. So that's the way this got relisted, and it sold quickly after that. So I'm not sure why nobody was buying it before, but maybe they saw that video, but I don't think that video has been published yet. All right, crossword. This is going to be a little bit heavy, 3 pounds, 13 by 11 by 3. It's going to WF in Florida. Oh yeah, Florida. That's another big freight forwarding state. So if you see a Florida address, it's very often is a freight forwarder. Those ones are usually going to South America or like Spain, Europe. Okay. The next thing is the other book that sold off that shelf, The House of the Seven Gables. That video will be out by the time you see this. This is by the Heritage Press. Nicely made book. I've had this since March 29th of 2023. So we're coming up on close to 3 years on that. So I'm glad for that to go, even though I did lower the price on it. I think I probably lowered it pretty low. I probably had this at like $20. I lowered it down to $13.99 or something like that, maybe $14.99. And then I also sent an offer on it. So this one was purchased by offer, $13.49. The House of Seven Gables in this nice slipcase. I'm gonna get some paper wrapped around it. People have suggested that I should be wrapping all books in plastic before putting them in the box. But I feel like if I'm gonna wrap books in plastic, then I have to wrap everything in plastic, and I don't really want to do that. I have never had an issue with something getting wet, although I guess it could happen. I know it could happen, but I'm not that worried about it. So I'm going to continue to wrap stuff in paper for the most part. And when a book's only $13, I paid $3 for it, so we're not going to make much profit here. on this book, but it all adds up. Okay, 7 gables. I'm gonna have all these same kind of packages today, which I'm happy about. This is 2.1 pounds, 2 pounds 1 ounce, which I don't like that, but I'd rather it just be cut off at 2. And I guess I could open this up and try to take a little bit of that paper out, but I'm not going to. EB in North Carolina. All right, next. I'm gonna save this one for last, the best one for last, and then right now we're gonna do another set of these little magnets. I think I have 9 of these left. There's also one set. There's one package that I sent out that seems to have disappeared in shipping. So I'm probably gonna have to send out 2. That person bought 2. Of course, it had to be the person who bought 2. They're not that valuable. I probably made like $8 to $15 on that sale. So I'm gonna have to send them, I'm probably gonna have to send them 2 more of these magnets because they're gonna have been lost in the mail. Magnets, very light, not even an ounce. This is 8 by 6 by 1. This is the magnet that's used to hold this lapel mic on. And I had to buy replacements, and I had to buy them in a pack of 100. So I figured I would just try to sell them to recoup my money there. And I'm making a little bit of profit on each one, but not that much, maybe like $5 or $6 on this envelope. I sold these for $7.99. I paid $1 for them, but the shipping, there will be a little bit of profit on the shipping, so we should make some of that money back. Okay, next up here is this vintage hat. Is that Chevy, the Heartbeat of America? Is that the Chevy logo or is that the Ford logo? I can't remember. Let's look at the listing. Chevy, Chevrolet. I had a ton of hats, ton of vintage hats I got from one big purchase, and I paid almost nothing for them, 36 cents a piece by the time I was done. And I think I had 2 of these. One is this like bright neon green, so this is probably from the late 80s or the early 90s. I had one in the bright neon green and one in pink, I think. And I sold one of them, and then the other one is still here. This says made in USA, so you know it's pretty vintage. I'm gonna get a couple more. I'm gonna get another box. I don't have the right box here, so I'm gonna get another one. I'll be right back. Okay, I usually do put stuff like clothes and hats and things like that in plastic before shipping them. This bag was here, must have come from something that came in the house, an order that came in wrapped in this black bag. I have some clear bags, but they're very big, way too big for this hat. So I'm just gonna use this black one that's right here, put it in one of these boxes. I like these non-structured hats because you can put them in pretty small boxes and not have to worry about, you know, crushing the shape of the hat. All right, hat should be probably 2 ounces, 6 ounces, 10 by 7 by 3. And this one's going to JF in California. So like I said, 36 cents I paid for it, sold it for $15. Okay, what's next? This is some toys, like still sealed Thomas and Friends minis. I think they're from, what year? I thought I put the year in the title. I guess not, but they're not super vintage, maybe like 2010 or 2005. I know there was a date on here, I remember seeing it, but okay, 2017. So I guess not vintage at all. But anyway, these glow-in-the-dark trains from, you know, Thomas, the tank engine. I got this for $1 at the Goodwill, and I had it for $17.99 or $18.99, and somebody sent an offer for $15. I've been doing that meet me in the middle kind of a deal, but I wanted to get a little bit more sales today. So a couple of these things I took on offer without counter offering, because, you know, if you're asking for $2 or $3 off, we're probably going to be okay making a deal. And I only paid $1 for this, so turn it into 15, it's fine. I mean, obviously I'd rather get the 19 I was asking, but somebody bought it today and it's done, and I packed it up and sent it out and make $15 on it, then good. That's good. Okay, Thomas the Tank Engine. This is going to ME in New York. Thomas. It's going to be very light again, 11 ounces. What's this? 13 by 11 by 3. And we know who it's going to, so next. This should be the last one, right? We got through these pretty quick. They were pretty simple packages today. This I'm not going to take out of the package. I have this sealed in plastic. This is a Ralph Lauren, Polo Ralph Lauren turtleneck sweater. It's probably from the 90s. It's definitely older. And it's unfortunately a small size, so it took quite a while to sell. Really, I had this, well, I guess not that bad. I got this in August. So what is that, for like 6 months to sell this? I got it at a garage sale with, there was a guy having a sale. He had a garage just full of clothes, and everything was $1. Like no matter what you got, it was like everything was just $1, which is a good way to do a sale. Very easy. You don't have to do any price tags or anything like that. Just put one big sign up that says everything's $1, and then you're done. So I got this there. I thought it was going to be okay, but I couldn't really find any comps for it. But I did just kind of just make up a price for it. I thought this is an old Ralph Lauren. I think Ralph Lauren's probably more popular now than it was even in the 90s. These polo stuff mostly does pretty well. Like the plain, like golf shirts, if it's just a plain color, probably doesn't do that great, but if it's stripes or some other kind of pattern, can do pretty good. And this old sweater did very well for me, $61.41. So this must have been left over from when I rearranged my prices a while ago. Otherwise, it would have ended in a 99-cent price. 13 by 11 by 3. It's going to AE in Florida again. Okay, I'm going to get labels on all these. I'll be right back to tell you all about the total profits. All right, there we go. 8 packages, all packed, all labeled, all ready to go. And let's quickly go over profits. First sale of the day, Science and Health with Key to the Scripture by Mary Baker Eddy. Paid $1 for it, sold it for $11.99. I charged $5.25 shipping. The actual shipping cost was $4.47. We make a little bit there, but later on we lose that on some other shipping. eBay fees were $2.96, so that book gives us a profit of $8.81. So we're basically in that territory for almost all of the sales today, except for the sweater. So next up, Random House Sunday Crossword Puzzle Omnibus. That earned $20.90. The House of the Seven Gables, that was a nice book, and I'd only brought in $6.42. The Ralph Lauren sweater did bring in $50.57, so that's pretty good. Replacement magnets, more than I thought, $7.45. I was thinking it was going to be about $5. I thought for sure it'd be under $6. The Heartbeat of America Chevy Vintage Snapback Hat earned $13.56 for me. The 2 Rolling Stones 8-track tapes, $5.31. Those I've had for a long time too, since middle of 2024. And then finally, Thomas and Friends mini trains, $12.72. So we're looking at a total profit for the day of $125.74. So that's better than we've been doing lately, but I am shooting for closer to 160 or 200 on average for the day. So not terrible. Better than the last few days, but I'm looking for more money than this going forward. So, all right, tomorrow will be Friday. We'll be packing again, so that's coming right after this. Okay, here we go. It is Friday night, and just have 2 sales on eBay and 1 very rare sale on Mercari. So let's get this stuff packed up and shipped out. So here's the first thing is a pair of CDs, 10,000 Maniacs. This is Hope Chest and Our Time in Eden. I need some cardboard. I'm going to wrap these 2. They're already wrapped together in stretch wrap so I don't mix up the order. I have done that. I did that once where I sold like 5 books, 6, maybe 6 books, and I grabbed a stack off a shelf, but I only grabbed 5 of them, and then I had to send a second package with the 6th book. So since then, I've been trying to put anything that's a lot like this, just stretch wrap it together so there's no possibility of sending fewer items than I was supposed to. But it does happen. It's not the end of the world, but it's happened. So I'm just going to put these in this cardboard and then put that inside of this bubble mailer and seal it up. These CDs, I'm not usually out scouting for CDs unless, I mean, sometimes I get them for free, like somebody's just giving CDs away, I'll take those then. Or sometimes, in this case, I found a big box. I can't remember how many CDs were in there. Well, I guess I can. I paid $40 for the whole box. and there were approximately 80 CDs in there because I paid 50 cents a piece for them. And I knew one CD, the first CD I saw right on the top of the box was the soundtrack for The Adventures of Pete and Pete, the TV series. And I knew that CD alone was worth about $40. So I was gonna get my money back just from that one sale. And that sold pretty quickly out of that listing. The rest of them I bundled together. If a similar artist like this, put two together. But they're still not that. I don't know if it's worth it or not. These two CDs sold for $10, and I would have paid $1 for them. This is 10 by 10 by, call it 2. Yeah, so I paid $2 for these, sold them for $9.99. Well, no, I paid $1 for these, 50 cents a piece. Sold it for $9.99. It's going to DM in Florida. So I have sold, almost all of those CDs at this point. There's maybe like 4 or 5 bundles left in there. But yeah, I guess that was a pretty good deal in the long run. The next thing I have here is some drum heads. These are 14-inch Remo Emperor Suede crimp lock drum heads made in the USA. I had been selling a lot of these for a while, but that's interest in these drum heads has really slowed down. So I got these from a drum and bugle company that was cleaning out their storage unit, and they just put on Facebook Marketplace, free drum heads, come and take as many as you can, because they just wanted to get rid of it. They had too much. They needed to get the space cleared out, and they needed to get it cleaned out in one day, basically. So I went there and I filled my car up, top to bottom, with drum heads, and bought these. I bought a bunch of different sizes of these pizza boxes, because it seemed like that would be a good option for shipping, and it's worked out pretty good. I couldn't even tell you how many drum heads I got from that, and I certainly couldn't tell you how many I've sold, but it's quite a few. But let's see, when was that? This was in October of 2024, so more than a year ago I picked these up, and I still have a lot of them. There's a lot that I never even got listed, because they were, like, some of them are big bass drum heads. I don't know how to ship those exactly, so I might have to get those listed on Facebook Marketplace or something like that, local, because I don't think I want to try to ship a package that's 40 by 40 by 2 inches. I don't even know if I could get a package. I can't easily get packages that size. Maybe if I sold them all at once, I could do something like that. But I think that's where I went wrong with these drum heads. I started listing them, because it was taking so long to list them individually. I started listing them in lots of 3 or 5 or 6 or whatever. And it's probably not that common for a drummer to want to buy 5 of the exact same drum head, the same size, the same everything, because drums are all different sizes. If you have a drum set, they're going to be different sizes. And I couldn't really put together packages of the most common sizes, because they're all different varieties, like all different models and stuff. So people probably want, like, if they were going to buy Remo Emperor Suede crimp locks, they probably want that on their entire drum set. And this might have been, maybe I have these 14-inch ones in this style, but I don't have 12-inch ones in this style, or whatever. It turned out to be, listing them in lots was probably a bad decision, but it's too late now. They have sold. I have made a lot of money on these. I lowered the prices some lately, and then I took an offer on this one as well. So these 3 drum heads I only sold for $25. I got them for free, so it's not it's not a hardship to sell them for $25. But each of those heads in the store is probably $40. So somebody's getting a hell of a good deal. 2 pounds on these heads. This is gonna be, what, 17 by 2. Is it 2 or 3? 2. Yeah, it's been a while since I shipped these. I used to know all these dimensions from, I was shipping a box like this, 2 or 3 boxes like this a day for a little while. This is going to AR in Pennsylvania. And I have had a lot of people sending me offers on these things, and I feel like I don't want to be a greedy guy, but I know how much those things cost new, and I'm selling them for less than half of that new cost. They are all new drums, but if you bought them from Musician's Friend or Sweetwater or one of these websites, they're going to be at least twice as much as what I'm charging for them. So then if somebody tries to offer me half what I'm charging, it feels like a little bit too problematic to sell them. Anyway, the next thing up, this is a Mercari sale. The reason this is on Mercari is because eBay took it down. I guess by eBay's rules, an Amazon vest is considered a government. It goes against the government uniform policy, which I guess the theory is that somebody can get a vest like this and then go door to door and end up robbing someone or something like that. Which there are a lot of things in the world that you can use for nefarious purposes that nobody would even consider banning the sale of. And it seems to me like I can think of a handful of reasons somebody might want an Amazon uniform that's not for nefarious purposes. So I don't think it's any of eBay's business to tell me I can't sell this. I would feel terrible if I found out somebody bought this and then robbed someone, but I don't think that's gonna happen. In this case, the buyer has the word costume in their name, so I'm pretty sure they're not a bunch of criminals. 14 by 9 by 1. The Mercari stuff, I don't really know that well, the Mercari system, but apparently they just have a flat fee for shipping labels. So I had to pay $6.99 for this label, even though this package probably is only going to cost well, I mean, the least it's going to be is like $4.50, but I printed that label already. I don't have to weigh it or do anything. I just did. Okay, that's it for Friday. Let me get to my spreadsheet and then I'll come back and tell you about the profits for today. All right now it is Saturday morning around, I guess it's really just afternoon. I have a few, I have Friday's orders that I'm going to take to the post office, and I have a few orders that came in overnight and this morning. So I'm going to get these 3 things packed and take them with me to the post office, and then hopefully we'll come back later tonight to pack up everything else. Hopefully there's more sales today is what I'm trying to say. But for now, let's just get going. First thing I have is this Fiestaware pitcher, ewer, I guess. I've had this forever. I guess Fiestaware stuff is not really super sought after anymore, especially, I mean, it's very difficult to determine age and all of this stuff that makes it valuable. Some colors are discontinued, but you're looking at those colors on the internet and there might be, like this one I think is called Periwinkle. Then maybe there's another color called Sky Blue that, looking at them on a screen, they're identical. And unless you really know what you're looking at, in person, for a non-expert, there's no way for me to know, is this the discontinued one or the one that's still in production. But anyway, this one is not sought after. I sold this after, I bought this in September, on September 15th, 2023. So what's today? February 28th of 2026. So we're talking about a pretty long time. I'm gonna put it in this bag and then I'm gonna fill this small box with some peanuts I have here. I don't typically use these, but I have some and I might as well use them. This is like kind of the ideal, shoot, this is why they suck to use, because I just spilled them all over the place. This is the ideal situation to use them, something that's breakable that you want to get filled on all sides and all directions. So I'm gonna fill this up and then I'm gonna put this box inside another box. And this is a lot of, this is the way I have to ship this, something that's breakable like this. I don't really have much options here, but this is a very low profit item that it kind of stinks to have to put this much effort and packing materials and stuff into it, because I bought this for $4 way back in 2023 and it only sold for $21.74. So the day before yesterday, I put a sale on, a discount sale in my shop, because I was trying to, like, you know, we're just at the very end of the month. Sales this month have been slower than I want. And so I was hoping, let me just put a 20 or I can't remember, 20 or 25, I think 25% off sale, and try to get some of this stuff to move, because I want to boost my numbers up here at the end of the month. Okay, I have a 12 by 12 by 12 box. I'm gonna put this in. And like I said, this is a lot of extra work for something I'm gonna make probably $11 on. Everything that's shipping out today is gonna be pretty low profit. Okay, let's see, how does this fit in here? All right, I have room to make this shorter and still get plenty of packaging around it. Buffer. Come on, it's time to get a new blade on here. Oh my gosh. I should have done the second one, not the first one. Okay, I'm gonna fold these. I cut it down. These boxes have built-in score marks, so you can make this box shorter if you want to. And I cut it to the lowest one when I should have cut it to the second lowest one. So now I'm going to have to force this to fit in some way. So all I'm gonna do is just put paper all around and get this thing. You know what I have? I actually have kind of a lot of these air bubbles. Maybe I should use these and get rid of them. Yeah, that's better. Just get rid of this stuff. I get these kind of packing supplies that are not my favorite things to use. They come in old boxes or somebody gives me them or whatever. I try to use them up right away just so I don't have any excuse to have extra stuff hanging around. It gets messy enough in here already without adding a bunch of stuff I don't even really want. Okay, fine. This is fine. Like I said, $21.74. This is not something I'm excited to put a lot of work into and a lot of tape and materials and stuff. But you sold it, you gotta ship it. Okay. All right, this one's done. Let's move this out of the way. I'm trying to go fast. It is afternoon and the post office closes, I think, at 2. So I need to get these packages done and out of here. This is 4 pounds. It's 12 by 12 by 11, and it's going to SL in Florida. Move that out. Okay, get these peanuts out of here. Somebody just gave me not a lot more, but more peanuts, so I have to find a reason to use those. All right, the next thing is a Nintendo Wii. This is another one sold at the sale price, and it's not going to be bringing in much profit. Like, I just don't know much about video games. I thought these Wiis were selling for decent amounts of money, and this comes with a bunch of accessories and games and stuff, and it's in working condition. I plugged it in and set it up and used it. So I showed a demo of it working. So it definitely works, but it's been sitting since August of 2024 at about $60, I think I had it listed at. And then put the sale on, I can't remember. I paid $20 for this and I sold it for $45. So either it's a 20% or 25% off sale, I don't remember which. There's a ton of stuff in here and I feel like it all has to get wrapped in bubble wrap. And I'm only gonna make $10 on this, maybe. So this is gonna be nothing but bad sales today, but this stuff that has to, you know, I sold it, I gotta ship it, I gotta just take my lumps. We were starting, it seemed like we're starting to do well. A couple of days ago I had kind of a lot of sales, and I thought hopefully the month would end strong, but only 3 sales yesterday, so far only 3 today, and these are these low profit sales. So the Wii is in there. What's this thing? Charger base for controllers. Wrap that up, put it in there. So I have these ones. I don't know what these are called. Nunchucks, is that right? I need more. I'm gonna go through a lot of bubble wrap on this one package, this one disappointing package. I'm gonna roll these in here, roll a second one, and then here's another one. These two have SpongeBob in them, so I get on them. I guess they're aftermarket ones. Maybe they're not valuable, but what do I know? And then a real one, a black one. They have these little adapters that's supposed to make it more, make your movements more accurate, I think. So those things have a little bit of value, but I thought putting this all together, it would do better than this. $44.99. This bundle, trying to get this. Trying to do this properly, even though I really don't want to. Okay, put this one in here and then this here. Now here's the the AC adapter, I guess. Everything else in here is cables, mostly. This thing is what recognizes the movements of the controllers. Put that together in there. And then cable, some more cables. There's a few cables there. And this small box we'll save for another day. Now, I'm gonna get more of those air bubbles. Okay, the other day I bought some plates and things, and the people at the thrift store really went wild, giving me sheets of newsprint to put in between. And I don't usually like to use newspaper in packaging, but I'm going to. Today is a day when it's gonna go out. I also have these games that came with We Play, We Fit, Rock Band, We Active Personal Trainer, NBA Jam, Rock Band 2, Shaun White Snowboarding, and the Black Eyed Peas Experience. So these aren't apparently the most collectible or sought after games, but they're in here now. I got some of these bubbles, but I might just use, well, I don't know. I'm just gonna use this newsprint. I wanna get rid of it. It's making my whole place messy and I want it out of here. Whatever doesn't fit in here, I'm throwing in the garbage. I was watching this lady wrap these plates and I just take the plates without any wrapping at all. Like I'm gonna put them in the car and drive them home. It's not really that necessary, but I was watching her wrap them and she would just be like sheet after sheet after sheet of paper. And I couldn't really get her to stop. Okay, I'm gonna put a little tape on here and then give this a shake. It's fine. This one is a little heavy, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the edges with these strips of tape. I'm gonna do the bottom too. And then we just have one more package after this. Okay, now I got paper and bubbles I don't want. Put them over here. Okay, WII. This is going to be 7 pounds, 9 pounds, 9 pounds, 2 ounces, 12 by 12, 13 by 12 by 9 is the size of this box. And who's it going to? I bet this is, oh, it's pretty close at least. DF, Florida. I know, no, Indiana. I don't know why I thought that. Okay, then the last thing, a simple one. This will go quickly. This is a vintage Boy Scouts of America Troop Scoutmaster shirt. And this is another one that sold for much less than I was expecting. Like I found this, it's called sanforized, which I think is, I don't know what it means. Something to do with meaning it doesn't have to be ironed or something like that. I think this is probably from the 50s. And I bought this from a guy at a garage sale, right? And a bunch of other Boy Scout and Girl Scout stuff, vintage stuff. And when I bought it, I found a comp of that shirt that had sold for like, I don't know, over $80, maybe over 100. So I was excited about selling this shirt, but it's been sitting for a long time. So I dropped the price down a little bit to like 40 and then no interest. And then I dropped it down to 25 or whatever, no interest. And then finally it went on that sale yesterday and it only sold for $14.99, but I paid $2 for it. But this is going to be 3 low profit sales, nothing to be excited about. But hopefully, like I said, we can get some more sales today. This is only 10 ounces. And what size is it? 14 by 12, 14 by 10 by 2. It's going to, Arizona. I feel a little scattered today. This packing session was a little bit chaotic, so I apologize for that. But right now I'm going to get the labels on these and then I'll come back, tell you the profits on these things, and then we'll save profits we'll save profits until the end. I'm sure there's going to be more sales coming in. So right now I'm going to get these out to the post office, then I'll be back hopefully with another short packing session. Okay, we're back. We did have a few more sales today, 6 sales. So I think that makes a total of 9 today, which is not bad. This is the last day of February and the numbers are not adding up to what I want for the month, but it's not going to be the end of the world. So we're just going to get this stuff packed and then we'll be ready for whatever comes in tomorrow. This stuff won't go out until Monday, but we might as well get it packed tonight. It's pretty late. It's after 11 now. And, well, that's enough talking. Let's just get it back. Okay, what I have here, I'm not going to take it out of the box, is a Style Setter 20 heated hot rollers from Remington. This is still in the box. Vintage, very vintage. These are probably, I would say, could be 90s, could be 80s. These hairstyles look like 90s to me. But the coloring of this box looks like 80s, so who knows. Anyway, I'm going to put it in this Ground Advantage box. I've already made some adjustments to make this box a little bit bigger so that everything will fit in here properly. And it's a little bit longer than I need, so let's just get rid of some more of these things by putting it in the bottom. And then I'm going to wrap this with bubble wrap, even though it's not a super valuable item. This box is a little bit rough and I want to protect it a little bit and really just kind of contain everything inside here. So I'm going to wrap it with bubble. This came in as an offer and I think I told you this morning I have a 20 20% off sale going in my shop, and I usually don't consider offers. In fact, I rejected a lot of offers today. Once I have something on sale, it's already 20% off. I feel like there are people out there who see a sale and then they assume that the seller is desperate. And so they start sending these ridiculously low offers. But I'm not, I want to make sales and I feel a little desperate, but I'm not so desperate that I want to give in to that kind of business practice. But so I rejected a few offers, but this one I did take. What did I sell this for? I think it's only like $14 or $15, but let's open this up and find out for sure. Yeah, 15 bucks. I think on sale it was like $16.99. So $15 isn't so low, wasn't so far away, but it's not going to be a good profit. I paid $3 for this and sold it for only 15, so that's not going to be a great return on investment. But it's one more thing gone and an extra, let's say $8 profit into our coffers for the month of February, which I will be doing a video. I'm going to do an honest truth video in a couple of days. That might be Monday night. I think I'll record that Monday night and then publish it on Wednesday or Thursday or something like that. Anyway, I'm going to break down, I'm going to go over all of the sales for February and we'll see how close we got to the goals. And we didn't hit the goals, as a spoiler alert. Hot rollers, this is 4 pounds. I changed the size of this box so I can't use the numbers that are written on it. 16 by 8 by 6. I also took the packages I took to the post office today. I can't remember if it was one I packed this morning or one I packed yesterday, but I had some books. No, it was CDs. That was today, right? The 10,000 Maniac CDs. I put them in some cardboard and then I put them in a bubble mailer and I put a medium mail sticker on it. Without really thinking about it, I put it in a Ground Advantage envelope. And that, I mean, I was going to say it got me in hot water with the post office, but it didn't really. But the cashier at the counter said, just so you know, you put that medium mail label on a Ground Advantage package, and I'm going to let it go this time, but you're really not supposed to do that. And I was like, oh, I know I'm not supposed to do that. I just did it without thinking. So it was a mistake. And I would have taken it back and repackaged it, but she said, just leave it. It's no big deal. I'll take care of it. So I'm hoping we don't have any trouble anywhere along the way with any other carriers or sorters or counter clerks or anybody. I don't think we will. I don't really know where trouble could come from that, but I hope that package arrives safely. This right here is a part of a Singer sewing machine. I found a sewing machine on the street. It was just sitting on the side of the road and it was in pretty rough shape. It was like super dirty and had some pieces missing off of it. And it was obviously not in working condition, but I took a ton of stuff off of it. I probably took like, I don't know, 15 to 20 pieces off of it and listed them as replacement parts. This part is called the 1591 front plate tensioner. And it has this fancy scroll work on it, which makes it a little bit more sought after for collectors or whatever. This is part of the sale that I was talking about earlier. So this sold for $16.49, which is, if I sold 10 of those pieces off of that thing for that price, we'd make $100 and some dollars. This one is 10 by 7 by 3, and it's going to GW in New York. That's 2 down. Next up is, okay, some books. I'm going to make sure to not put these in a Ground Advantage box, so I have a nice, clean, brand new box, and I think they'll fit in here just fine. These are books by Georgette Heyer, Heyer. I've never heard of her, but she's sort of a contemporary, I think, of Agatha Christie. And I think she wrote all of these, which are mystery books in the vein of kind of Agatha Christie. I think she also wrote romances and historical books and all kinds of stuff. So I seriously never heard of this author, but she's very prolific. And these books sold very quickly. I listed these February 5th. Today is, At least I got them on February 5th. They might have been listed as late as February 10th. Today's February 28th, so it took like basically 2 weeks to sell these, 2 weeks-ish, maybe 3 weeks, less than a month anyway. And I did take an offer on them, even though I think my price was pretty good. But like I said, we're trying to get stuff moving out of here. So it says 7 books. There's 4 and there's 3. I want to make sure they're all here. I got these for free and I sold them after taking an offer. Typically people send offers of even amounts, like $37, $35. This person sent an offer of $36.99. So I think I had them probably $42.99, something like that. And that $36.99 is close enough, especially the last day of the month when I'm desperate, semi-desperate for sales. So they'll go in this box nicely. I think, do I have one more of those bubbles? Got one more of these dumb bubbles here. Might as well use it. Should close. Yep, it does. I thought that bubble might be too big to fit in here, but it's fine. I might have more of those in the other room, but I had one of them sitting right here. All right, Georgette. I considered keeping these and reading them. I do like those kind of books, like Agatha Christie type books. This is 6 pounds. This box has numbers on it, 11 by 9 by 7. And we'll ship these to LCW in Ohio. So nice and close. That'll go medium mail. Should go medium mail. It might be cheaper, Ground Advantage. Sometimes a heavier box can be cheaper Ground Advantage than media. All right, now what we have is 3 shirts. I'm gonna put all 3 of these in boxes just because it feels like it's gonna be easy. 2 of them are expensive enough that I feel like a box is a good choice anyway. And the third one is like, I'm putting them all in boxes now anyway. Might as well just keep going with that. First thing up is a flannel shirt by a company called Ibex, which I never heard of, but I saw this at my lunch break thrift store. And I don't know if can you see the tag, and I felt it, and it felt like this feels like higher quality than what you're used to. I do find pretty good shirts there. I found those cool shirts there at that thrift store, and this one, what else did I find there? I can't remember, but anyway, I got this there, Ibex. Never heard of it, but it felt good, so I looked it up. I bought it for $4.32. And sold it for $46.79. So this is on sale. I've got all my prices back, ending at 99 cents. And the real reason to do that for me right now is just so I can't remember for sure what I sold based on sales or based on offers. So if I see it says a number that's not 99 cents at the end, then I know there's something extra going on here. This is 1 pound. This box is 13 by 11 by 3, and it's going to Beat in ME, all the way up in Maine. Jessica and I lived in Maine for 1 year, and I guess they think they need cold weather gear there, so that flannel would be good for that. The year we were there, it wasn't really that cold. I didn't think it was cold, but I see a lot of those Maine residents walking around in parkas and stuff where that kind of temperature in Chicago calls for shorts and t-shirts. Okay. Did I tell you what I paid that? I paid $4 for that, sold it for 47-ish. This one is an Adidas men's tracksuit jacket. I have 2 of these. One of them has, maybe this is the one. One of them had like a brand, Groupon, has a Groupon logo printed on it or embroidered on it. So it probably was an employee gift. Adidas men's tracksuit. I had this like super high priced, maybe $90 to $100. And I lowered it and I lowered it and I lowered it. And then it went on sale for like $44.50 or something like that. Somebody sent me an offer of $43, which I don't like to take offers when something's on sale. And I don't understand that trying to just save $1.50. Like, if you're buying something for $45, does it really matter if you pay $43? It's basically the same. But I decided it's basically the same for me as well. So I'll take the $43. I took it and we'll ship this out. This has been sitting since last January. So I have 2 of these. They've been around for more than a year. It's time for them to go. Adidas, how much does it weigh? 2 pounds. Wait, that can't be right. 1 pound, 8 ounces. How much was this one? 1 pound even. They feel the same. Put 2 pounds on there anyway, and 13 by 11 by 3. It's going to I bet this is going to Florida. Yes. Florida, DC is the buyer. Okay, and then one more shirt. In fact, I was going to put it in a box, but I changed my mind. I'm putting it in a envelope, poly bag. This one's too cheap to waste a box on. $15.67 for an outdoor research hoodie. Can't see it really. I'm not going to take it out of the package, but outdoor research. This came from that thrift store too. On the same day? No, definitely not. This one's about a year old. 12, no, it's not. It's about 3 months old. 12, early December 2025. So we got December, January, and February. Took about 3 months to sell this shirt and sold for $15.67. I could tell by the 67 cents that this was a sale price. I think right now the sale is everything that's more than 45 days old. And it's going to end tonight. This was just a sale trying to boost the last couple of days of February's orders. And I think it did work. We got 9 sales here today compared to only 3 yesterday. Seems like the sale worked, although we lost 20% of our profits, but that's okay. I would have been sending out 20% offers anyway, probably. Outdoor, all right, on here. And how much does this one weigh? This is over 1 pound by itself, 1 pound 6. Probably just put 2 pounds. And it is 13 by 11, 13 by 10. I'm gonna call it 4, even though it's probably skinnier than that. And who are we sending it to? JD in New York. So most of my sales go to Florida, New York, Texas, and California, the biggest populations. Okay, I'm gonna get labels on these. We'll come back and then go over the entire day's profits. All right, everybody's labeled up. We're all ready to go. These are gonna wait until Monday and then go out with anything else that sells tomorrow and maybe even tonight. It is 11:30 right now, so we have until 2 a.m. to be, anything that sells before 2 a.m. is technically on today's orders. All right, let's go over these sales. I'll tell you exactly how much each one of them sold for and how much profit we made today. This is the last day of the month, so the last hurrah. We're not going to get any more money in unless, like I said, we get a couple more sales in the next 3 hours. All right, what have we got? Fiesta ware. So we started today with that Fiesta ware periwinkle blue pitcher carafe, and I paid $4 for that. Sold it for $21.74. I charged $9.84 shipping. The actual shipping, because I double boxed it and everything, was $11.33. eBay fees, $4.43, and that leaves us with a total profit of $14.80. So it only took 3.5 years to get there, but we made 15 bucks on that pot. Not too bad. The Nintendo Wii stuff that had all of the SpongeBob controllers and remotes, $21.80 profit. The vintage Boy Scouts shirt, $11.46 profit. Then the Remington styling stuff, the hot rollers, I probably should have hung on to those. I shouldn't have taken that offer because those really haven't been in my shop that long, just since October, like 6 months, I guess. $9.22 profit. I mean, I guess if I got the full $20 I wanted for them, we would have made in like, what, $12 instead of $9. It still sucks, but we'll take $9.22. The Ibex flannel shirt. This is a men's small, so usually small shirts don't do that well. You're looking for large and extra large. That's like, sort of like the median size that the most number of people are shopping for. But this small shirt sold pretty quickly, just in about a few weeks, and it earned $35.92. Then we're looking at the Adidas tracksuit, that green jacket, $34.45. Outdoor research hoodie, $10.72. So it's a good thing we put that in the poly mailer. It might have been $2 more if it was in the box, or maybe, I don't know. Anyway, Singer sewing machine part, $14.90. That's not bad. And finally, Georgette Heyer 7 paperback lot, historical pen hollow source books mysteries, $28.65. So we're at a total today. It was well over 200, but after paying for these shipping costs, we went down to $181.92. That's 9 sales. So that gives us a profit for the month of February, average daily profit for the month of February, assuming no more sales come in tonight, of $111.37. So I'm targeting $160 a day for this year in order to reach a $57,000 profit goal for the year. And that means I need to make $160. Really, 200 is better, 300 is better, 500 is better. But for me, if I can make $160 a day, that's good. An average of $111.37 is not great. That's an average profit per sale of just exactly $20, $19.99. So, well, whatever. We're starting up March tomorrow, so stick around. Next thing you see is going to be tomorrow's sales, March 1st. Right, it is officially Sunday, and we have been filming these packing sessions for 7 days. This will be day 7, so this is going to get published ideally tonight. Last night I finished up the packing with eight or nine sales. I can't remember. It was $181.92 in profit, but after I filmed that, 3 more sales came in. So today, I'm going to pack up those 3 sales and then take a little break and then come back and do all of Sunday's orders. So I'm going to do these 3 right now and then update you on Saturday's sales so that we can then get Sunday's stuff done and call it a full week. Right here's a juicer. This is a uranium glass juicer. I don't know the manufacturer of this or the time period. I don't really know that much about uranium glass, honestly. But this is the kind of glass that has, that has uranium in it. If you shine a black light on here, I have one around here somewhere. It glows anyway. Let's see, where did I get this? I've had this for a long, long time. I know that since March of 2023, and we're just in March of 2026. So I've had this for 3 years. It says 1930s in my title. And this says Fried Glass Company. So I guess I did figure out who made this. I think there might be a small chip on the spout here, unfortunately. Yeah, there's a little bit of a crack, almost invisible, but it's there. So this finally sold after 3 years for only $15. I'm just going to put it in this box and tilt it in here a little bit to try to keep as much of the edges away from the outside of the box. I'm trying to find the place where this bubble wrap splits. And I think I might as well, no, I was thinking about using that leftover the leftover packing peanuts to fill this box up, but I think I'll just do paper. It's going to be better, more suitable. So I'm going to put a big wad of paper, like a little nest here in the bottom, and then try to build up a little bit of a hill so this thing goes in at an angle. Because this box is plenty big enough for this, but it is a breakable item, and ideally for something like this would get double boxed, but not for something that's only worth $13. The shipping would, the cost of shipping this double box would overwhelm any profits that I'm going to make on this. So I'm going to just put it here in this single box. There is a lot of room around it to get filled with paper, and I'm going to pack it up pretty tight so it can't move. And this should be perfectly fine. I'm not sure, where is it going? It's going to Texas, so it's not super close to me, but it's not as far away as it could be. I usually think about the distance something is going. If it's going to be, the farther away, the more time it's going to take, and the more chance there is for this thing to get broken. But I think this is packed pretty well. I don't know. I mean, the ideal thing would be a double box situation, but you got to be realistic, and some things are not worth that amount of packaging materials and cost. So if this gets broken, I'll apologize and refund the buyer, but so far I haven't ever had anything get broken. I'm just gonna write uranium on here and let's get a weight on it. It's 3 pounds. It's probably more than I charged for shipping already. 1197, the dimensions, and it's going to D in Texas. So it's a pretty nice vintage juicer. I'm surprised that it took so long to sell, but it did sell finally, and 15 bucks. Minus, I paid $3 for it at the Salvation Army, so we're down to $11.99, and then eBay fees, we're looking at about probably $9 profit on that thing. And then here I have two OEM remote control, like key fobs for a 2000 Chevy Tahoe, 1998 and 1999. I got a box full of these kind of key fob things from a garage sale. And I can't remember exactly what I paid for the whole box, but these two I have a cost of goods of only 25 cents. So I don't remember the whole details of that purchase, but let's say I got, I don't know, 15 or 20 different key fobs. Some of them are for like security systems. And I probably paid $2 or $3 for the whole deal. I don't remember for sure, but let's call this a quarter. And then I sold this for $24.74, the two of these replacements. I'm gonna write key fobs. I'll just write keys on here. 2 ounces. It's probably not even that much. That kind of variance could be caused by me just, you know, shifting my weight on the floor. This is 11 by 8 by 1 in a bubble mailer. I think these will be perfectly fine in here. It's going to ES in Utah. And then the last thing we're going to pack today is this Ronco, as seen on TV, dial-o-matic slicer. So you can turn the dial on the side and it raises the slicing blade up and down. You can slice your cucumbers or tomatoes or whatever that blade is sharp enough to cut. This is a super vintage. I think somebody probably would be buying this for novelty's sake or for nostalgia for something they saw on TV. Probably in the, let's see if this has a date on it. It says made in the USA. This is the instruction manual that came with it. Important, read carefully. Please be careful. Slicing blade is very sharp. Always use a safety bar. I don't see a date on here, but I feel like there was a date on here and it was much more recent than I would have expected. Like I would think this would be like from the 80s at the newest, but I feel like there was a date and it was like 2012 or something. Could it be possible they still made these things in the 2000s? Let's try to look at the pictures. Let's see. No, I don't see a date on here. But I do feel like I saw some date and I was surprised that it was as new as it is. This thing, I don't know, maybe somebody will use it, but I can't imagine there's not a better quality, similar device like a mandolin that would be basically the same cost and do a lot better job than this plastic as seen on TV stuff. I'm using this box here. It's basically the same box as I just put that uranium glass in, but I'm gonna put a little more paper in here. Okay, we'll get these. I'll get these 3 done. I'll come back and update you on yesterday's profits, which is gonna go up a little bit. It's gonna be over $200, I think, at this point, but we'll see. And then there has been a good number of sales today. I think we're at 8 or 9 right now. So I'll finish up that packing tonight and give you a full breakdown on Sunday's orders, and then we'll see about how we did for the whole week. 10 by 11 by 9 by 7. Okay, I'm gonna get labels on these. I'll be right back. Okay, these 3 are done. They're ready to go. That did jump up yesterday's sales a little bit. So at the end of the video, at the end of the session last night, I was at around $182 profit. After these 3 packages, we're doing a little better than that. So we'll go through these one at a time and then we'll add up the whole thing. So the uranium glass juicer earned $8.80. Took 3 years to get there. Pretty crazy. The 2 GM remote control key fobs, $24.01. And the Ronco dial-o-matic food cutter, $12.84. So we jumped up from 182-ish to 227.57. And the average profit per day, I think last night was like 111 or 112, is now up to 115 for the month of February. And now we're officially done with February. Unless there's some returns or anything like that, then this is set. This is how much profit we made for the month of February. on average, $115.15. And then later on this week, I'll break down the whole month, give you the full breakdown of how much money came in this month and what that has to say about how we're going to do this year. But for now, I'm going to take a little break, and then hopefully more sales come in. But I think there are 8 or 9 that need to get packed up tonight, and a couple of them are going to be pretty complicated. So this last packing session could take a little while. So this video might double in length just from this next packing session, but stick around for that. Okay, we're back. It's still Sunday. I did get a couple more sales here since the last time we talked, and at least one of them is a little bit complicated. So I have several, maybe 3 less than simple packages that need to get packed up here, and I think there's 10 total, and then 3 of them are going to be a little bit of work. So let's get this first one done. It's going to be a nice easy one. This is just a pair of jeans. I'm not going to take them out of the package, but these are Levi's 501 black jeans, size 38 by 32, straight legs, classic old Levi jeans. These I've had for a long time. I was buying quite a lot of jeans several years ago, and some of them sold quickly and some of them didn't. And so these are some that have been sitting for quite a long time. Since November 19th of 2023 is when I purchased these. Probably got them listed very shortly after that. And I paid, well, I'm not making any money on these at all. I paid $12.58 for these pants and sold them for only $14. So this is going to be prepared for a video shortly where I'm talking about the best and worst sales of a certain time period. Like this will probably be the first week of March. I'll do a video about the first week's best and worst sales. And this is almost certainly going to be on the list of the worst sales. If I paid $14 for these, no, I paid $12 for these and sold them for $14. Oof, these are Levi's. I hope I charged a lot of money for shipping on these, because this is going to be maybe negative profits on this. 13 by 9 by 3 maybe. And they're going to RRB in MA, Massachusetts. Okay, so that sucks. That was going to be a bad sale, but whatever, they're gone. After this amount of time, you just take what you can get. At least we'll probably get most of the money back on these. Okay, next up, this is going to be a complicated one, so I'm going to try to get it out of the way. It's not that complicated really, but it is 8 dinner plates, and they're ceramic, and they're going to take a lot of packaging to make sure these arrive safely. These are Lenox plates. This pattern is called Blue Ridge, and I think they may still make this. I think they've been making this. I'm not sure exactly, but I can't really pinpoint the age of this pattern, these particular plates, but they're in good shape. No scratches, no chips, no cracks, no anything like that. And I had these are really old. All the way back in March of 2023, I originally bought these, but I bought a bunch of place settings, like dinner plates, salad plates, bowl, cup and saucer, teacup. And I was trying to sell them as individual place settings like that. Like you can buy one plate, you can buy one set that has all of those pieces, which turns out to be not the best way to sell. This is a long time ago when I got these, and then I was just learning about how to go about selling dishes, and that's what I thought was going to be the best way, but it turns out to not be true. In my opinion, people who are buying dishes on eBay are probably buying replacements. So maybe they have a whole set already and they broke one plate, they broke 2 plates, and they want to replace them. They don't want to buy a whole setting like that. They want to buy just what they need. And in a case like this, they probably think, I could use a few extra dinner plates anyway, so why don't I buy all 8 of these? That's my opinion about how stuff gets sold. Stuff like this gets sold on eBay. I'm putting a piece of cardboard in between each one, and also 2 layers of this bubble wrap. And then I'll stretch wrap these all together to make them tight so that they can't shift and bump up against each other and cause any cracks or scratches or dents or dings or catastrophic disasters. So that's how I'm going to do these. put one piece of cardboard, one piece of bubble wrap folded in half, and the next plate, and then just keep going like that. This is probably the most, like the biggest amount I've sold of plates in one go. I usually am doing like 3 or 4 or maybe 5 plates. I think that's probably the most I've done. And this is a total of 8. So it's a lot. And I better make sure there's 8 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, all 8 are here. And this is gonna be, this is gonna be tough because it is kind of shaky, but I want to tie all this together. I'm gonna start very loosely, just wrap this around a couple of times if I can, and then keep getting tighter with each wrap until I pull these together. And ultimately it'll be like a solid brick of ceramic pieces so that they cannot shift against each other. The real concern here is these things bumping up against each other and getting cracked. Not so much some other kind of damage from the outside, but from the inside. So I'm pulling this stretch wrap about as tight as I can. And then the whole point of the stretch wrap is it stretches, you know, so you pull it tight and it stays tight and it gets even tighter as you put more wraps. It is very tight though. Okay, let's get that off. Now I have a few longer pieces of bubble wrap, which I can go around the outside a couple of times, and then I'll go in the other direction as well with this other piece here. It's just about 8:30 when I came down here, so I'm gonna try to keep my eye on the clock and see how long it takes to wrap these 10 orders. So I want to be done kind of early tonight if I can. I've been working on eBay stuff pretty much the whole day. Okay, and I have these plates, I mean these boxes that are really, the intention of these was to just put 1 or 2 plates in. This is why I bought these boxes specifically for these dinner plates. I bought tons and tons of plates at one shot, like $400 and maybe $500 worth of plates. And I wanted to have boxes ready to go when I was selling, you know, just an individual plate for $30 or whatever. You can see this is pretty shallow. I think it's only 4 inches deep. So unfortunately, this is much deeper than 4 inches. So what I'm going to do is cut these flaps off. I'm basically going to make a cap, and then I'm going to take two boxes like this and put them together to make one pretty heavy duty box. In fact, I'm going to just use this extra flaps in here right now to add some extra protection before we even get too far into this. All right, so that one's just about done. Now, how deep is this? This stack of plates right now is about 5 inches, so I want this to end up being 5, 7, about 9 inches tall. Okay, so I'm going to, that's basically 2 inches on the top and the bottom, 2 extra inches, which I think is about as much as you need for protection. So what did I say, 9? I'm gonna go to 9 1/4, 9 1/4, and then use the straight edge to cut off some of this. I guess you'll see what I'm doing in a second. Let me flip this down a little bit. So I'm cutting this short, this box a little bit shorter than it is right now. Let's cut that and then get this part off. Okay, we'll save that. I don't know if we have a use for this or not, but got these extra scraps. This is kind of skinny and weird, but maybe we'll find a use for it sometime. Okay, now I'm gonna put this box together. I made it pretty long. I want it to go all the way around. And I'm gonna go ahead and do these side flaps while I'm here. This is gonna end up being pretty heavy, and I'm gonna pack it pretty tight with paper. So I wanna get these corners reinforced before we get too far into this project. All right, so the idea is fill this up with paper, get the plates in there, and then put this cap on top, and we should be ready to go. So I'm going to put this cardboard in, more protection. This is some nice scrap that I would like to keep for future projects, but this is a project where it's going to be useful. Okay, back in business. So we're going to use a lot of paper because I want to get basically a 2-inch deep nest of paper for these plates to sit in. I think we're just going to skip ahead in the video because this is just going to be pretty much balling up paper and sticking it in here for the next 2 minutes. Okay, now we're gonna put the plates in, and then we got all these flaps to go in here too. Isn't quite enough, so I'm gonna have to make some paper snakes and just wrap around to really fill this space in. Okay, all the sides are filled up. Now I just need to fill this with paper all the way to the top of this, and then that lid can go on and we'll be all set. Okay, this is the tough part, trying to just get everything to fit in here, but it's not that big of a deal. Should go pretty smoothly. There you go. Okay, I'm gonna put a strip going around this way. Shoot, that's the end of my tape, so I gotta get some tape. Okay, new tape, ready to go. This particular brand of tape sticks best to itself. Doesn't really stick to the cardboard that well. So I have to use kind of a lot of it so that I can wrap it completely around until it touches its own tail. It's like an adhesive Ouroboros, and that should do it. Okay, how heavy do you think this is? Pretty heavy. It is 13 pounds. And this box is 16 by 16 by probably 9, 10. So this might end up at UPS instead of USPS because it's probably a little bit bigger than what they consider oversized at USPS. But we'll figure that out in a minute. In any event, I had those listed as individual settings with the plate, the salad plate, the bowl, the cup and saucer. And I just pretty recently just separated them all out into like 8 plates, 8 salad plates, 8 cups and saucers. I might have just gotten rid of the cups and saucers, actually. I can't remember. But anyway, it wasn't that long ago, maybe like 2 weeks ago. And I've had these listed for 3 years. But since I relisted it, sold just pretty quickly for $70 for these 8 plates. I paid $13 for them, so that's a pretty good return for me. This is called Lenox. Lenox is a good brand, but not everything they make is valuable. But certainly if you see Lenox dishes at the thrift store, they're worth taking a second to do some research. These are going all the way to Connecticut. This is kind of far. I'm gonna put this over here out of the way and move on to the next item, which is just a book. It's a manga book, Horimiya. Where did I get this? This says 85 cents from the Salvation Army. That sounds about right. I do remember I bought a bunch of manga from the Salvation Army. They had a big stack of it, and for whatever reason, when I probably bought a stack of books this tall to the cash register, and I suspect the cashier just didn't really want to deal with it, so she probably rang up half of it and then just put the rest of it in my bag, and I didn't really pay attention to it until I got home, and I thought, I've got a lot more books here than she charged me for, so I guess sometimes they can do that if they want to. They can just do whatever they want. They don't have any real inventory system to know what's there on the shelves. So the person who bought this asked me to get it to her as quickly as possible because it's for a birthday gift, and of course I'm going to ship it out right away. It will be in the mail tomorrow, but I can't control how quickly it's going to get there. So hopefully it arrives on time for some birthday, but if it doesn't, I'm sorry. I wish I could do better, but I can't. Okay, Horimiya. I'm just going to write manga. This is pretty light, 11 ounces, 10 by 7 by 3. I think it's going to Texas if I remember. Yeah, CP in Texas. And what's next? This is already packed. This is something I sold once before. I don't even know exactly what these are. I'm not going to open the box. Obviously, it's packed up very well. It's something called Creston. It's like power supply units for something. I don't know exactly what. Maybe for like a security camera system, but I really don't know. Anyway, I listed these before for parts or for repair because I don't know if they work. I have no way of knowing. And the person I sold them to got them and then said, they don't work. I want to send them back. And then I was like, well, you know, it says parts are for repair, but I had left on my standard 30-day free returns. And so I had no choice but to take these back, and then I just relisted them for parts or for repair, and then I just changed my return policy on that so that this person should not be able to return them to me. Like, they're buying them knowing that they don't work. And hopefully they can repair them. Like I said, I don't know what they are. I don't know how they work. I don't know what anybody would do with them, but 14 by 10 by 7. So yeah, I sold these once before, so they're all packed up, perfectly ready to go. 8 pounds, and they're going to probably the same guy, SB in New York. So that's one that just goes pretty quickly because it's already packed. That's good. Next up is a difficult one. I'm going to save that for a little bit and do some of these easier ones and then come back to it. So right here, Barbie, this is a lot of 25 puppy dogs and animals and stuff that came from different Barbie play sets. Do I have a box for this? I think it will fit in one of these boxes. This is in a Ziploc bag. I bought these at I think it was a school, like a big rummage sale in a gym, if I remember right. Or maybe these came from an estate sale. I can't remember, but in any event, it says Barbie Pets right on there, $5. So the person who's gonna get this paid $20 for it. They're gonna know that I only paid $5. But I'm not gonna worry about that, and I'm not gonna take them out of this bag. But I will get them in this box and squeeze as much paper in here as I can to keep them from shaking around too much. That's good. What have we done, 5 now, 4? 4. I have some skinnier tape here that's probably better for this box, because this is 3-inch tape and this box is 3 inches, so if you get it off at all, it's sticking up and it doesn't really want to stick that well, but we're gonna just go with it. Barbie Pets. This is, oh man, they're pretty heavy, almost 2 pounds. 13 by 11 by 3, and we're gonna ship those to BA in Tennessee. So that one's done. Now, next, I have another piece of clothing, so I'll grab a poly bag. This is an Adidas. It says Cinewarm hoodie, men's medium, blue, gray. This came from an estate sale. One of these estate sales where the lady just said, pile everything you want up and then we'll give you a price afterwards. And the price was way more than fair. So I averaged out that I spent 58 cents per item I bought at that estate sale. So this hoodie cost me 58 cents and I sold it for $13.99. I was thinking about just getting rid of it because it didn't seem like it had the tag missing, so I had to base the size on measurements and stuff, and hopefully it's a medium. But I was just about to just dump it into a garage sale pile or a donate pile, and I thought, well, I might as well list it. It's exactly 1 pound. This is 13 by 10 by 3, I guess, and it's going to KG, Pennsylvania. What's next? Trying to think when I want to go back to this big box of books. It's going to be pretty labor intensive, so maybe I'll just want to clear the whole board off and then come back to it. But I have a big box of books and a big box of records. Both of them have to go, and they're going to both be fairly difficult. But let's get this one done. Another one of these Fourth Wing books. I have a whole case of these. I think I have 9 left. And they don't sell for much, but they've been selling pretty quickly. I think this is the probably 8th one I've sold, maybe. I mean, how many would be in a case? 15? Maybe this is the 6th one I've sold. I'm not sure. They don't sell them for much, but they don't take up a lot of room, and they're easy to ship. Don't have to worry about them breaking. So I sold this one. I got the whole case for free. So I feel okay selling these for $8.99. Some of them have sold for even less than that on offers or whatever. This book is just slightly too big to fit in one of the smaller boxes I have. This size box I put the manga book in, which I wish they would fit in there, but it has to fit in these little bit bigger ones. And almost all of these are Spanish language editions of this book, Fourth Wing. It's a big hit book, popular book. Almost all of them have been going to freight forwarders to go to foreign countries, Spain or wherever else. I know some went to Spain. I think some went to South America. Anyway, to countries where they're more likely to speak Spanish. And this one, I think it's just going to Florida. Let's see, where is it going? Yeah, it's going to Florida. And it looks like it might be going to a library. So I think that maybe Fourth Wing. I think maybe I know that sometimes the libraries, they got to get books wherever they can get them. And they might be going to eBay to find books that their patrons want. So I'm happy to get this out. It's going to, well, I'm not going to say where. SAGBL in Florida. That one's done. Now, this is the last thing before we get to the complicated stuff. This thing is, I don't know what it is, a tamper. It says Lux House on the box, and then it's this. I think it's something to do with making coffee, tamp your coffee grounds down with this. I don't know why somebody needs something this fancy to make coffee, but whatever they want, they can have it. This says, is your coffee tamper not perfect or didn't meet your expectations? My personal email address. The guy gave his personal email address so you can call, you could write to complain that your Lux House coffee tamper isn't as good as you wanted it to be. Anyway, where did I get this? I got this from the Salvation Army. I paid $5 for it. Seems like a lot, but it did sell it for 20, so that's okay, I guess. Normally, if I buy something for $5, I'm hoping to get 50. When I bought this, I probably thought it had a quick sell-through rate, so I was willing to take a little bit less of a return on investment because it was going to sell fast. But it's been quite a while. This has been since June of 2024. So maybe at that time I didn't really know how to calculate sell-through rate properly. I don't really calculate it. I just look at some numbers and decide if they feel like they're in a good range, supply and demand range. Okay, this one says, this is a set, do not separate. That's just on the box. I'll cover that up. And this is called Lux House. I'm just gonna write Lux on here, get a weight on it. 2 pounds. There's Jessica getting home. I think she's upstairs. 8 by 7 by 5. And it's going to SF, this guy's got a long name. SFVDW in California. Okay, I'm gonna give Jessica a call, see what's going on with her, and then I'll come back to finish up these last 2 more difficult projects. Okay. I don't know what I can hear. I hear noises of footsteps upstairs, and that was Jessica calling to tell me that she's almost home. So she's not here, but I hear something. It might just be the boiler. Sometimes it does make noises like that, but it's scary when you're home alone by yourself hearing footsteps upstairs, and you know there's nobody here. There's another one. Okay, well, I'm just gonna keep moving, shut this door behind me so nobody can sneak up on me. Okay, right here I have a complete set of Hardy Boys books, the Hardy Boys Mystery Series. I think there's 58 books, and then there might be one extra one. I thought they would fit in this 12 by 12 by 12 box. This is what I've had them stored in, but this box is just a little bit too small. I've got 3 extra books that don't fit. In any event, I'm going to leave these in here. Let me just tape it up, and then put this box inside this box and hope we don't have any trouble with anything splitting open, because this is going to be really heavy by the time it's finished. So this box is half full of packing peanuts. So I'm going to get another box and put those in there. I'll be right back. Okay, I poured most of these packing peanuts out into another box, and I left a thin layer in here. And I'm just going to put this inside there if I can. Oh, there we go. And then put the rest of those peanuts around here. Or I won't use the rest of them, but I'll use some of them to just fill up this thin gap. And then try to get some on this side. Hopefully they don't get all over the place. I typically don't use these, but I came into some. You know, somebody gave me a bunch, this big box full of them. And so I'm using them up. And they have come in handy. The day that I got these, I shipped a KitchenAid mixer, and that was sort of perfect packing material for that. These 3 books, there's not a lot of room here, but I should wrap these in paper or plastic or something. I got these from a guy on Facebook Marketplace. He sold it to me for $50. Then there was an extra book in here from a different series, so I sold that one separately. So $49 for this set of all these books. And I had it listed, I think at like $180 or $190, or what? Let me see, $280. Yeah, I had it listed like $2 something anyway, and somebody offered me $209.99, and that offer came in yesterday. And yesterday or last month, yesterday was the 28th of February. Last month's sales were a little bit behind what I wanted, so I accepted that offer so that I would get So basically, if this sale had happened yesterday, my my profit numbers would be exactly what, like, just at my target amount. But he didn't bother paying for it until today. So unfortunately, February was under my target amount for compared to last year. I'll be talking about this in tomorrow. I think tomorrow's video. I'm not sure when, but yeah, he paid for it today. So we're starting out March pretty strong. Like, we have one good sale here, and then the next thing we pack up is pretty good too. So first day of March, if things continue this way, March is going to be a good month for us, but probably won't, of course. Okay, let's get this box closed. This has a label on it, previously shipped label, so I'm just going to turn that on the inside and then pack this, tape this up. I think I probably will run around this a couple of times with some fiberglass reinforced tape. Even though this is double boxed, I still don't want it to split open. So I think I'll run around it at least one strip on each side. So I'm going to do that off camera, and then I'll come back to pack up the last sale of today, assuming we don't get any more sales. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I'll be right back. Okay, I don't know if you can see this, but I put these straps of this fiberglass tape. I did 2 going around every direction. This should keep this box, like, even if this cardboard splits, it should still hold it. Like, this stuff is unbreakable. In fact, I just cut myself pretty good by trying to cut that tape. You have to really cut it. I mean, it does not cut easily, and so I hit the tip of my thumb. So I had to run upstairs, find some bandages. So we're gonna finish up this last package and then call it a night, because this doesn't hurt right now yet, but I think it's gonna hurt here pretty soon. All right, we're on to the very last package, and this is gonna be the most difficult one. And this is basically the same story as the Hardy Boys. Somebody sent an offer on these last night. In this case, their offer was a little lower than I wanted, so I counter offered, and they didn't respond until today. If they had responded yesterday, February would be sitting pretty, but as it is, we got 2 pretty big sales here the first day of March, and that's gonna get us going, you know, revving up our engines as we move into March. So I have this pretty big box, and I'm gonna put all these records into it. So what I have are these box sets of the Beethoven Bicentennial Collection. So what year would that be? I can't remember. Is that the 200th? I don't know if it's the 200th anniversary of Beethoven's birth or his death or what, but most of these sets are sealed. There's 10 box sets. I don't know how many records are in each one, probably 5, maybe 5. There's several volumes, and I don't have all of the volumes. There are a lot more, but I have 10 of them. Oh, 1976, these came out. So I put a little layer of those. I'm gonna just continue to use those packing peanuts right now. I put a little layer in the bottom here, and I'm just gonna stack all of these records in here. I stretch wrap them together 2 at a time. If I put all of them in stretch wrap, it'd be too heavy to lift. So I'm just gonna do them a couple at a time. Get them all in this box, and then we'll figure out what else needs to go around them for more protection. I still have more packing peanuts. I also have bubble wrap, and I have paper, and I have those air pockets if I want to use those. This is just going into the city in Chicago, so it's not going that far. So you don't have to worry about too much, but I still want to get it packed up as nicely as I can. So let's do some bubble wrap. Oh, wait. I have this. Should I use this? This is like just corrugated cardboard rolled up. Should just get rid of this, I guess. Well, I'll save it for another time. In fact, I'm just gonna go with, I'm gonna get rid of the rest of these peanuts, and then we'll fill the rest of this box up with paper, and it'll be fine. This is a pretty expensive package. They paid $134 for this set of records, so I want it to be, you know, fairly professional, but I'm just going to use what I have. Packing peanuts. I know people don't like them. I don't like them either, but they do have their use. And all these records are packed in these cases. They're pretty intense already. I don't think they're going to be able to get damaged too much. The possibility of damage is pretty slim. Okay, I'm just gonna put paper in and not talk, and we'll probably just get cut off because it's gonna be pretty boring just watching more and more balls of paper going in here. Okay, this is about as full of paper as it's gonna get, so let's close it up and tape it up and then get it out of here. So I will finish this one. It's been about an hour and 20 minutes since I started. I did have a little pause to go get this bandage put on, but I'd say it took me an hour and a half, or let's say it took an hour and 10 minutes to pack up all of these 10 packages. And as you saw, most of them were pretty easy, but this one and a couple of these were a little bit more difficult. Okay, I'm gonna get these labels done and then I'll come back, give you a breakdown on all of today's sales and where we are for the whole week. Okay, so that's it. All those boxes are packed and have labels on them. 3 of them will go to UPS. Then I have, let's see, 7 in that bag. Whatever was there yesterday, maybe, let's see, how many packages from yesterday? I don't know. 12. So we had 12 orders yesterday, 7 today. That's 19 I'll be putting out on the porch for my carrier to pick up, and then I'll drop the rest of these off at the UPS office. But let's just quickly go over these 10 sales today and get this over with. So I did lose a little bit of money on those Levi's jeans. I paid $12.58 for them 3 years ago, sold them for $14.24, and I ended up losing 39 cents on that deal. So that was a bad one, but at least I got most of my money back for a bad purchase. So essentially, I lost 39 cents, and I could have lost $12.58. So that's better than nothing, but not great. The Lenox dishes, those plates, I paid $13.84 for those, sold them for $69.99. I charged $19.25 for shipping. The actual shipping was $18. So we make a little bit of money on the shipping. eBay fees were $12.45. So we're at a total profit of $44.95. So that's not too bad for some plates that I have been sitting on. Had them listed the wrong way. I relisted them and then quickly made $45 on those. That manga book, I don't even know how to say it. Horimiya, Volume 1, $7.69. Two Crestron, these are these power supply things that are broken, $22.55. Then we're on to the good sale. Hardy Boys Complete Set 1 through 58, $122.54. So I'm happy with that, especially since I paid $50 for those. That's a pretty good return on a $50 purchase. The Barbie Pets, I earned $11.98. Adidas Cinewarm Hoodie, this is a little blue hoodie, $10.81. I only paid 58 cents for that. Fourth Wing, Spanish edition, we earned $6.52 on that, so better than nothing. The Lux House Calibrated Pressure Tamper for Coffee Espresso Makers. Fancy coffee garbage, $12.15. And then finally, we're on to this big box of Beethoven records, $86.46. I thought it would be over $100 on those, so that's a slight disappointment, but it's not bad. I mean, that's fine. $86 on something. I paid $26 for them. Turn that into $86. That's okay. So total profit for today, the first day of March, $325.26. Definitely the best profit day of the year so far. I think I may have had some sale days in the 200s, but I don't think I've had any over 300 so far this year. So this is a good start to March. Hopefully this trend keeps up. Okay, so that's the end of this first week of trying to film in this manner, doing all of the packing each night and then putting it all together into one mega video. Let me know if you like this format. It might be it just could be too overwhelming. I'm not sure, but it's a test. We're seeing how it works. I was having a little trouble keeping organized and remembering what I'm working on. But if this works out well, then I'll just keep doing it this way. Otherwise, I'm going to go back to doing a little show and tell at the beginning of a video and then packing at the second half of the video. It's a little bit easier for me to do it that way, and I'm not sure if it's easier to watch that way. But if this isn't successful, we'll go back to that. But let me go over all the sales this week quickly, and then see what the total week's profits were. So Monday was a pretty slow day, $47.47. So that's not the kind of sales day I want. And I do have a couple in that kind of a range during this week. Tuesday, we're looking at just over $100, $101.01. So that's better, but still lower than I really would like to have. Wednesday, $96.12. Again, we need that number to go up. Thursday, $137.48, closer. I'm looking for like 160-ish on average. Friday was $40.57, so that's a poor showing. Saturday, pretty good, $227.57. So we packed all that stuff up last night and some of it this morning. Then today, Sunday, $325.26. So this was definitely the best day of this month, certainly because it's the first day of the month, but the best day of this week by far. When we add all that up, we get $975.48. I think we need to be a little higher than that for a weekly total. Should be probably over, should be like 1,100 or 1,200, not 975. So that averages out per day to $139.35. And like I said, I've got to be hitting 160 or so in order to reach or get at least close to the goal that I have for this year, which right now is about $55,000 in profit. But anyway, like I said, if you like this type of conglomeration video, let me know in the comments. If you don't like it, let me know that too. I'm not wedded to it either way. So thanks for watching though. I'm sure this video is going to be like 2.5 to 4 hours long, but if you stuck it out this long, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I will be back again tomorrow.